Welcome in. Welcome to CTA. Iggy and I on this Thursday recording. It's not live, so recording show on a Thursday.
Semi-live.
No, it's not live. It's not live. It's not live. Anyway, we finally did it, Iggy. We've crushed through 14 and a half weeks of this elongated,
Oh my god.
torturous Chinese water torture season of ours.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
the
wasn't
drips,
sure
the
where you were
drips.
going with that. Yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with
The
the
drips.
Chinese part and then the drips. Yeah.
Yeah, the Chinese water drip torture.
Yes,
There, you know,
yes,
it's
yeah.
that would. Would you rather endure that drips on your forehead, or
Or
going through this 15-week season that we've had?
I'll take the 15-week season.
I think I did
It
the
felt like I
drips.
never played, but but I'll take that over the water drops creating a hole in my head.
I was watching a movie, right, and that's where it originated from China, right? So the Chinese water drip torture. It's crazy. Like anyway. It's mind-boggling, but we got through this whole mind-boggling season of ours through 15 weeks. Now we're at the end. We're getting ready for playoffs, which begins April 14th, Sunday. Schedule. So quick reminders here. For those looking for schedules, that will be released in the coming days for your division. There are still some divisions wrapping up on Thursday and, of course, on Saturday in Brossard. And then everything should be up and ready to go by Sunday morning-ish, Iggy?
Yeah, around there
Yeah.
probably.
There's that spring season registration underway, so you guys can sign up for spring season that begins May 12th weekend.
Correct.
And we do offer 5-on-5, 6-on-6 format, depending on what you want to do. It's there to be had. And the ratings requests. Again, teams looking to get themselves verified if they're too high, maybe too low, perhaps, to get themselves in a proper division. Submit your requests as soon as possible. We can get that correct if there is a miscue with the ratings out there. So that is pretty much it for house cleaning from our end.
I think so. I mean, make sure to get the rating requests in. They're coming hot and heavy. There's, I'm gonna say, a 3, maybe 5 to 7 expected delay response on that because of how many are coming in, and the rating request team. Time is somewhat limited, so make sure if you want those reviewed, get them in as soon as possible. Don't wait on them till the last second.
Yeah, I can't do that. It really makes a big chaotic ending. It's like almost like a clog is piped with raw sewage of people trying to get themselves numbers to lower themselves. It's funny. People want stats, but they want low rating numbers. They want stats, but not high enough ratings. That's all. They want to be like 65.
Yeah, well, those are the veteran members of FPF. At the beginning, you want your stats and the higher rating.
Yeah.
Then you realize as you move, like at first it's cool, and then as you move up, I think as of like moving up from D to C, then you start to realize, oh, I actually don't want my rating to be that high, so I can keep playing
Right.
with my friends in like Div C, right?
Yeah. So anyway, so submit that. Playoff schedule will be up in the coming days, and let's get ready for playoffs. But we do have some games to look at in terms of what is left over, Iggs. Let's dive into the women's division first. We're going to go with women's 1 or women's 2. Your choice, my friend.
We'll go women's too.
So women's 2. So a lot to look at right now, Iggs. We know who will be the number 1 team overall. It's Hiwu. Cavaliers will be your 2 team. You got Kiss My Boots at 3. Bobcat CSL at 4. And this is where it's still up for debate right now with Hibu 2, Trappa, Fit Squad, and Red Nation. Red Nation have 2 more games left. They could jump up as high as 5, dropping teams down here, Iggs. We give them a chance to maybe move up as high as 5, or will they be lurking around the 8 range, if not 7 range?
Yeah, you'd have to obviously take a look at who they're facing. They're playing Thursday night at Stade de Soccer. They're playing Le Petit Miette. They have a good, nice little rivalry with that team.
Very thorny.
I think, yeah. I think as close as of a game as it could get, I think Red Nation comes away with a victory. They've had the better of LPM for the better part of 3 seasons, maybe even 3 years worth of FP play here. So I'd give them the advantage there. That puts them they had a 5-3. That would put them at 6-3. And then I think a tougher game against Wolfpack. Again, a tightly contested game, but one that I think Wolfpack comes. It's a bit of a coin flip, but I think Wolfpack comes on top of that. So give Red Nation a 6-4 uh, record to end the season. It's a good record for Red Nation. For a notoriously struggling offense, they put up more offensive numbers than in some years past. But again, the defense has been the calling card. Right now, sitting at 105 points in 8 games is their calling card, their way to win games, low scoring games, and that's where I think they can come out on top of Leptimiet. They would have to hold Wolfpack to 12 to like 14 points and come away with an 18 to 14, 18, 13 kind of victory. I mean, that's where I see them finishing off. Where does that put them exactly at 6-4? You'd have to look back
Six,
at the
seven range.
schedule. Yeah, tied with Trapper and Fit Squad, and then probably again it'll depend how many points they let up, but it looks like they would squeak into the 7th spot, the 7 hole right there.
Yeah, I mean, they could go two ways. I mean, if they lose both games, they can drop as low as maybe 12th. If they win both games, they can go as high as 5 and drop some teams along the way. You're bang on with their defense being what it is. They're, I believe, the second best defense in points allowed, which is remarkable in terms of the fact that there's so many quality teams in women's too. And they've put up some pretty big numbers as an offense this season. And you know the referendum will be out of matchups, right? If they get a good playoff matchup, um, they can go 2 rounds, maybe 3, and if it really goes their way, they can get back to the finals. And they've been to the finals, right? There's nothing you can't question their track record, Iggy, that they have gone to. Was it now 2 finals in a row? Spring season last year,
And Fall Cup.
Fall Cup, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
And so they've gone 2 in a row, and so they have a great chance. And I wouldn't want to face them if you are a Hibu, right? Because if they were locked in as an 8 seed and Red Nation got through the first round, and depending on how the rankings would be, how the overall season would be ranked, maybe that's your second round matchup. And they've had success against the Hibu teams this past season in terms of competition and winning one of the 2 this season. So yeah, they could definitely move up here. And when you look at Wolfpack and Anton, all these teams here, Eggs, they too have a chance to kind of move up, but not too high. But they can get up as high as 8 and kind of swallow Red Nation back into that abyss of 4 or 5 win teams here and kind of make it a bit of an unpredictable finish to what the season could be for both teams involved.
Yeah, I think the Wolfpack game against Red Nation is the one that's of most interest here because Wolfpack, with the win, would and that's where I see Wolfpack. Like they're a very similar team to Wildcats, who won their game last night, Wednesday night against Le Louvre, which mathematically eliminated Louvre from playoff contention. Yeah, that Wolfpack Wildcat, those 2 teams are always interesting, and to have them finish with 5-5 records, I think would be a little disappointing for both of them if you ask both teams. I think you see them, or at least I see them as a 6-4, 7-3 team. They've been strong, but I think that just speaks, like you said, Mo, to the quality of teams that have come into women's 2 this year.
Yeah.
And that's where you get like a good Wildcats and Wolfpack team who, were probably 6-4 and 7-3 in the Fall Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Now fall down to see 2 more losses on their each of their records.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on record and say an established team on the top 5 will be one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah,
don't know who, but someone's going down in the first round. And their first game, whether it's round 1 or round 2, probably round 2, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think not the first round. Not you're saying one of the top 5's teams first game of the playoff.
Yeah. Whatever opening round,
I don't think so.
They're in. Opening round of their playoff campaign. Someone's going down.
No, I don't think so. I think maybe they go down in the second round, but Ibu, Cavaliers, Kiss My Boots, Patriot CSL, and Ibu 2, they're not losing the first round. Those are very strong teams, especially listening back to what Lori mentioned when she was on, Patriot CSL are a force to be reckoned with. That is a great flag football team, and that's not a team that's losing in the first round.
So
Absolutely
are
not.
we saying that one, if not two, from that Fab Five will be in the finals?
I think at least one, yes. Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
got
we'll
one
keep that
in
in.
from me. Yeah.
So women's one is a much clearer picture now. The bottom half, Bees, Vortex locked in as the 4 and 5 seeds. Blue Poudre has a chance to jump up and finish in the number 2 spot over Les Bleus, and Sub Zero will be your number 1 seed. Is there much to really shake about with this division, knowing that it's pretty much set in stone with Blue Poudre still to be determined if they're going to be a 2, if not 3 seed?
I talked about this on the solo mission that I endured last week for covering just the women's division talk here, and I like what Bleu Pou have in terms of a schedule coming down to the regular season. They
Yeah.
got the victory, and right, they're ending the season against Les Bleus and Sub Zero. Right, these are
Yeah.
two great tests without the pressure of having to win and you're in scenario in terms of a playoff spot. They've already got that clinch, but it's a great test for them heading into the playoffs. And they got a check mark on their first one, right, on the first
Right.
matchup against Les Bleus. That's a powerhouse team, championship level Les Bleus team, and Bleu Pou came away victorious. Now they have the Olympic sized roster of Sub Zero to match up against. And if they can get a win there, 2 wins against massive, dominant, amazing women's flag football teams, that's a lot of confidence for an 8-2 team going into the playoffs, and that they can ride that momentum perhaps to a finals appearance.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a smaller group of teams, smaller sample of teams, with the 5 going to the playoffs. But I think, again, no insult to Vortex and Bees, they're not on the same level of these 3 teams right now.
No.
These 3 teams have potentially Olympic caliber players who are on the radar for LA 2028 in 4 years' time. And that's the difference right now, right? And I think what it'll come down to is maybe a mistake or two by one of these 3 excellent teams that might trip them up in trying to get into the finals on that Monday night for the finals that we'll have. And remember, if you do know this, the whole scheduling thing is that a lot of these women players, female players, are involved with the nationals or some form of the national tournament the weekend of Roadshow in early May.
Right.
So how healthy and how will the energy reserves be for them when they hit the Monday night game for this final? So it's going to be a lot of football that they're going to play, whichever 2 teams make it to that point. And the thing is, it might be a war of attrition on how healthy they will be. And whoever is healthiest might be your champion by the time we hit the final games on that Monday night.
Yeah, health and mental fortitude, right? So that's
Yeah.
You're gonna see the best of the best. That's for sure.
Absolutely. All right, Eggs, on to what next? We do co-eds or we're going to go, what do we want to do?
Yeah, we can ride the co-ed, climb the co-ed ladder down.
So we'll do
from,
the co-ed wave over
3
here. So
up.
we'll go co-ed 3 for those out there who want to tag along here. We know that at least we try to be the home seed, the number 1 seed in the playoffs here. We have everything pretty much set for the top 7 seeds. The only question mark is now Petit Vite against Perfect Strangers. It's a flip coin now, right, of who might get the choice of taking the ball first half or second half. So, Iggs, with what we have from a playoff matchup, and of course the breakdown is that you will have the top 4 seeds getting a bye in the playoffs. In the early round, the first round, do we see a potential upset with maybe half and half, or Michael Scott's Tots, or Block Party losing too early than expected?
Right. So that brings up the divisional playoff round here as it's on screen. Already, the games and times, by the way, obviously as you're seeing it right now, are now available. So half and half Flamingos, man, half and half. They've picked it up since I'd say week 3. They haven't looked back, and I don't see that train stopping for half and half. The interesting one is that Block Party Eclipse game. I think if there's an upset to be had, I think it's Eclipse coming away with a victory over Block Party. Block Party had that hot start to the co-ed season. I believe 4-0, 5-0 maybe.
Right.
Starting the season. and they tailspun their way into the playoffs. So, and Eclipse has pieces that you can work with. They've developed chemistry, as many teams did over the course of the season. I think that one's your tightly contested game, because otherwise, Petit Vite over Perfect Strangers, that's just your second most likely one, I think, matchup to see an upset in. I do like what Petit Vite present as an opponent to Perfect Strangers with Chelsea Briton at quarterback. She's one of the better female quarterbacks in the division. There aren't many, but she's a competent quarterback, and when her confidence is going, the team rides that, and usually they ride out and blow out their competition. Perfect Strangers could keep it close, but I think the second most likely upset. And then Michael Scott Stotts over Dream Killers. I happened to catch Dream Killers recently, Wednesday night at Marivic. This is a team kind of like what I was just saying with Petit Vite. When the offense is rolling, they put up 20 points in the first half over the 8-2 Thunder Villains, right. And one small adjustment from the Thunder Villains defense, and it shut out the Dream Killers offense, and they weren't able to adapt. And so that's my worry with this team, is when things are going well, it's going very well. But as soon as a team makes adjustment, it didn't seem like they're able to counter and play that chess game. They stayed playing checkers while another team started making adjustments playing chess. So Michael Scott Stotts is that team that can make those adjustments, of course, with some of the veterans. Obviously, Zachary Alberts-Gill, one of the contributors here for Co-Ed 3. He knows his flag football, right? He's one of the reasons why he writes articles, because he knows and understands the game at a deeper level than the superficial players. So in terms of who can pull off an upset, number 1, Eclipse. Number 2, Perfect Strangers. Number 3, Dream Killers. And number 4, Flamingos, in that order.
So Eclipse last win was February 18th. So nearly 2 months to this weekend that we'll have games. So you might want to scratch that off your list, or Iggy. I'm not too sure.
Maybe, but maybe their next win is like when the next eclipse comes. Or maybe the eclipse.
It might be 128 years from now when we're long gone.
Or maybe the eclipse is what they were waiting for the next one.
That might have been the highlight for the season, was the eclipse happening this week. That might be their playoff victory over there.
So do you think that was their team name because of the eclipse coming in April? But they thought about it in January?
Maybe they probably timed it up. That's what they probably did to time it up here. But I think for what you said for the breakdown there, for the top 4 right now, I think they're all not rock solid, but they're solid enough to make that no one's gonna get a one and done in their first games. Whether Agnew gets whoever, Bandit, Thunder Villains, whatever, or at least we tried. They're okay for at least one round, and then from there we'll see if they do play each other in the final 4. But this probably has, I think, to be honest, Iggy, I think Co-Ed 3 has a little bit more of a clearer picture of who we think can advance than, say, the other divisions of an upset or 2 along the way.
I think so, but again, I think with the way Block Party has played the rest of the season, yes, Eclipse hasn't won since February, but yeah, there's a chance. It's not impossible.
All right, on to Co-Ed 2 here, and we have everything locked up now. Kiss My Christmas Balls are your number 1 seed. YY are your 2. Flash number 3. Pass Whoopin' is number 4. McNuggies are at number 5. My favorite team, McNuggies.
I got confirmation. It is McNuggies.
Yeah,
I got confirmed.
Iggy and PC and I call them McNuggies, so it's good to know. They don't hate us. Hate the name.
Sad.
We go by what we see.
Love the McNuggies. McNuggies. Have your chicken nugget.
McNuggies is what it's called. So, okay, so we have our matchup set here for Co-Ed 2, essentially. I'm looking at this from this perspective that for the playoff games that we have listed here, and they're all listed right now for Laval on Sunday, 4 p.m. is the first one. We go right up to primetime, 7 p.m. I think right now, and I saw Passwoman play on Saturday in a close affair, they can be had if they play like they did on Saturday last week, Iggy, at Loyola. But they're also good. And if they're locked in, they're very talented and very tough to beat. So there are some vulnerabilities with pass whooping coming into the playoffs here, more question marks than I think people will look at. So I think they're a team I'm watching out for on Sunday if they can kind of get that first game glitch out of the way and kind of ease their ranks going towards the quarterfinals if they do advance.
So you think who's going to carry the boats has a chance?
I think they have a chance if they can make it a bit difficult for Chris Rivet. For C-Rev, when I saw him play on Saturday in their win they had, it was a close one too, when they beat Pick 6 by 7. I mean, Pick 6 didn't do anything out of like, that was exotic. They just ran their system well, and Chris just didn't have the same feel for it. And I just think now in this situation, Chris Rivet should be he's got to be the alpha, which he is. And again, this might be a lot closer. And if they do get past this first game, I think they're going to be okay.
I think there's a 1% chance that who's going to carry the boats gets a victory over pass whooping. I mean, I was there for that regular season matchup. I believe 45-6 was the score in that game. I think the biggest discrepancy, as good as who's going to carry the boats female players are, pass whooping have co-ed 2, co-ed 1 level girls on their roster, whereas the who's going to carry the boats have more of a co-ed 2, co-ed 3 girls on their roster. So it's just the talent level on the female side is that the middle six, so to say, in that proverbial hockey middle six is the same, but right now pass whooping have a first line, whereas who's going to carry the boats have like a third and fourth line.
I think the best game from this pack that we'll have on Sunday will be McNoogies against Fit Squad.
Yes, that is a really great matchup, as well as Flash IG Team 2.
Yeah.
But go ahead with the McNuggies Fit Squad.
Yeah, I think McNoogies, with how they played so far this season, I know you're doing your head shake there, Iggy, of embarrassment, because they are McNoogies.
I'm embarrassed for you. I'm embarrassed for you.
So be embarrassed for PC United because we call them McNuggies.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. All right. So with McNoogies, they have looked at it this way, right? I look at their offensive effort this season. They have not scored. I think they scored 30-plus points 4 times during the regular season, which is okay. But now can they get that clean effort that they need from this playoff matchup that they'll have? Because you talk about Médéric Lauzon, he's a very good quarterback. I love what he does. I love what he does. He's a big-time player. But can he play a clean game against a very good squad and fit squad that they're a thorn on the backside for many opponents that they go up against, whether it's in the regular season or playoffs?
Yeah, it's a tricky matchup. It's an intriguing one, the most tightly contested one. Médéric Lauzon, I think he can afford one mistake in terms of an interception, but if he gives up 2, he's opening up the floodgates for Fit Squad to take advantage and win outright the game. This is a game that, don't be surprised that, that if you're scorekeeping it, that your scorekeeper comes quickly over to you and gets your roster in quick because to save time, because this game might go to overtime, right? And let's ask the question: if it goes to overtime, who has the advantage there in your eyes, Mo? Do you see the McNuggies offense, like convert wise? Clearly a team that's more confident going for 1. They've converted 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 extra point 1 converts and only 2 attempts for when they're going for 2 versus Fit Squad. Who do you personally like in an overtime scenario here?
I like Fit Squad. I think they have a few more playmakers to work with. Pitta, Sada, Chaffrier is good players. Boulanger's played very well for them this season as well. And I think on the flip side, their defense may not be the most riveting defense of how they are, but they have put together a solid number of PDs to rec plays. Their biggest question mark will be, can they come up with a turnover through the air? I mean, as a whole, I think they had just around 10 or 12 INTs this season. They have a really good rusher as well. I think it's going to be their defense to kind of create that stress level where the anxiety screws for McNuggies is a little bit loose, and they can't get a hold of the game if it gets a little bit tight going towards that last part of the second half.
Yeah, I think a key matchup there is, you nailed it, Mo, Alexis Galarno rushing Médéric Lauzon. If Lauzon doesn't have the time and can't buy time running from sideline to sideline and taking off on runs, and she forces him to make mistakes, which I've seen, an X factor in the backfield for Fit Squad is Tamara Boulanger. She's even though she only has one interception, she had that highlight reel pick one on Chris Olsen of pick 6, taking it all the way, outrunning Thomas Chaussé. Very impressive. She's the X factor in this game for Fit Squad, Tamara Boulanger.
Yeah, I think the other games in this matchup, YY Powerpuff Girls, I think YY are going to be a heavy face to win that as well. Balls deep might be an issue for Lords of the Field, but I give Lords the edge in that matchup. I don't see many upsets in the first round for this division, Co-Ed 2.
Over, under 2.5.
Under. I think it might be under 1.5.
1.5. 1.5.
I think it's under 1.5.
Under 1.5.
I think it'd be 1 at best.
Yeah, I think 1. I think Fit Squad could be one of them. I think potentially Balls Deep is a tricky matchup for Lords of the Field, two somewhat similar style offenses going at it. Yeah, I think 1. I'd be hesitant to go over on the 1.5, so I'll go under as well.
Yeah. Co-Ed 1. The biggest storyline in Co-Ed 1 is Maud Lacasse out for the season, pretty much, with an upper body injury. How does Plenty of Fish survive by not being exposed outside of the waters that they're comfortable in?
Well, luckily, they've built a smart roster by having Dylan Taylor and having him eligible not only to throw with the number of games played, but with his quarterback rating. So clearly there was some good GM work when constructing the roster. So while it's a tactical, I don't know how to. It's a tactical, I'm not sure what the right word for this is, but the fact
switch?
that the fact that they had Maud Lacasse, a female quarterback, gave them the ability to have 3 receivers, 3 male receivers. Now having Dylan Taylor as a male quarterback, of course, he only has 2 offensive weapons at his disposal in terms of the male category. Of course, they're not deficient of female talent.
Yeah.
Maryse Paquette, definitely one of a free agent that they added to the roster that comes to mind. That she's definitely one of the staple names of that can provide some offense in Maud Lacasse's absence. But it's just a different strategy that they go around with now having a male quarterback instead of a female.
Yeah, and not only that, Boston Net can jump up and take the number 1 seed now and finish 8-2 for the regular season. IG team still in a fight. They have to pretty much win out their remainder of games in LPP. They need to win and get help, which is to pray that Zero Sub and IG team do not get a single point moving forward here. So the bottom third of this division race here for the final spot in the playoffs, Iggy, when they start their playoff campaign, 1 in, 2 out, who is in? Zero Sub, IG team, or LPP?
Well, the way it's looking is that IG team's going to have a matchup against Le Petit Fuck, right? So a winner there, or even a tie from the IG team, is automatically puts them in, right? So so it's almost guaranteed that Zero Sub didn't make it, right? Am I reading I'm reading that right? The way I'm reading that. So Pussy Fuck. Oh, they only have one more game. Yeah, no. There's, to me, it looks like Zero Sub is out here. Am I seeing this right?
Well, Zero Sub right now is in the 6th spot. So
right now they're in.
Yeah, Zero Sub is in right now. But if IG team were to win one more game
or tie,
or the tie doesn't help because the more ties you have, it's a detriment to your.
But they'll have 6 points. They'll have more points.
Yeah, in that sense, yes, right. But all they need is one more point essentially, and they're in. And unless LPP lose out, if LPP lose out and IG team gets one more point, they're in. And so Zero Sub is at the
but
mercy.
they play each other. But Mo, they play each other.
I know. But I'm
so Zero Sub is out.
Yeah, they're at the mercy of these teams.
They're out.
Yeah.
They didn't make playoffs.
They're out. They're at the mercy now. It's over.
Yes. So it's essentially it comes down to IG team versus Le Petit Fuck. And I don't know where Dom Lefort has been.
I think he's now. I think he's
if he's not there,
he's not.
IG team wins this.
Yeah, he wasn't there for his LGC game in the hard divisions of the Out League,
and he hasn't been there for a few weeks now. He wasn't there last week.
The sense is, I think he's out. I think he's out for the not. I don't know how long he's out, but he's out.
Foreseeable,
foreseeable. He's
future.
not going to be available. So
I mean, give me. Know. I mean, IG team. I don't know what else to say. IG team.
And they've gone through the hurdles too themselves. IG team has not been an easy season for them. They've been through some torrential waters.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So Zero Sub out, and it comes down to LPP and IG team to get through. And if you look at it quickly here, Eggs, IG team has 2 cracks at getting to the playoffs. 2 cracks.
They do, yes.
So even if LPP were to win, they would be at 6. And IG team would need the full win in their last game to jump them for the last playoff spot.
Right. Well, they play Le Porcinet first, actually.
Yes.
That would be Thursday night in Laval.
Yeah.
So if they win, they're in.
Yeah.
And that's it. You should answer the phone, Mo.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
And you know who's calling? It's the IG team calling. They're off spot. I think that like they have like a 98%, 95% chance of making it in the IG.
They're in the driver's seat right now to get in here. So we'll look at that moving forward here. But again, I think we have an idea of how this is going to play out. A lot of question marks now, right? With Moldacast out, and now the race for the last playoff spot and what the matchups could be. And you wonder for easy fun, and Le Porcinet, they are 7 wins each, and who knows what can happen from that perspective moving forward. All right, Eggs, on to the 35s. So we can go 35s here or what?
Yeah, there's a finals going on in KTFL this Sunday.
Yes, it is. Apparently there's a finals that will be in Laval on Sunday, 3 p.m. tip or kickoff. JMJ on Rock, that will play for the KTFL Draft finals. Both teams coming off, for JMJ, a big win over Flag Plus, On Rock with a 3-point win over Brody Windsor. Who's got momentum coming into this game?
I mean, it has to be JMJ over, to answer JMJ over On Rock. On Rock with Craig O'Brien throwing, it was a one-time deal? Is Chris Olsen, ready to throw again? I believe he threw for pick 6 in that game against that you were referring to against Chris Rive, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's some limited reps inside of the ball with On Rock. So it's got to be JMJ. They finished the season, I believe, with a loss to Flag Plus. Come back 2 weeks or a week later and get a 46-27 win over them, right? So they jumped that hurdle, beat Flag Plus, who had just beaten them. Ryan Kastner, what more do you want? 18 for 26, 273, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. That is the way you want to go into a finals matchup. Lonnie Johnson, 127-yard performance, 3 touchdowns. And it's not just him, right? Corey Sim Robertson, probably two-way player, if not receiver of the year in the KTFL draft. He had 77 yards and a touchdown. It goes, when your third receiver is Dominic Tozzi, 4 of 6, 44 yards and a touchdown. John Moody added a touchdown. Scott Binns. So 5 touchdowns from 5 different players, right? or the 7 touchdowns. But JMJ, the rock is rolling there. No pun with on rock, but it's definitely JMJ.
Yeah, so JMJ and On Rock played 3 times during the regular season, and it was a 2-1 edge for JMJ over On Rock. In fact, 2 of the games were 1-point wins by either side. So there is that close proximity of this game potentially going towards maybe the final possession or the final play of the football game. We know Ryan Kastner is one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen in FPF, former Div 1 guy. And, he's looking for that first championship at the highest level for quarterback play. I mean, I think if I stand correct, he's not won as a quarterback.
He has zero championships. Yeah.
Right. So this would be a massive moment for him to get his first. And, when you look at it before, as you said, with that roster, they have depth. So if their first couple of guys aren't flowing, you said it before, Lonnie Johnson could be a factor. Francis Haley could be a factor. And that's why I think this team here might be a little too rich in terms of the taste buds for On Rock, who may not have enough horsepower to keep up with JMJ on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The depth on JMJ is what's impressive. On Rock, you have, I think they can match up with Tanner Burrell and who am I thinking of? Chris Brockwell.
Yeah.
That's and David Weiss, 3 players deep on the depth chart, but then when it comes to that 4th, 5th receiver or DB, I think that's where they're just missing the depth that JMJ has.
Well, I think it's going to come down to the final 2 minutes, and I think JMJ will pull away. I think they just have a better roster. But look, I'm not going to discredit what On Rock has. I mean, they got good quarterback play. Their team as a whole is solid, but maybe not the star power that JMJ has coming in. So, again, this should be a good final 3 p.m. Laval Sunday. I'll be there. I got to be there, right? So I'll be there, Iggy. I don't know about you, my friend, if you're going to be there presenting the trophy or not on Sunday afternoon.
No, I'll be getting ready for my playoff game.
Oh, right. Yes, you'll be there as well. Yes, I'm there for all 6 hours.
But I will be there, yeah.
Excellent. So we'll look forward to seeing you there as well for that. And
but yeah, just to chime in there with the Ryan Kastner first, that is kind of it's not the only reason why the 35 plus division is a nice, division to have and a nice concept, but it gives that, that ability because of how difficult and how competitive FPF is, it gives that chance for the title championship stats, to come full circle,
right.
Because it is, FPF, the competition is like none other, and winning a championship, even in 35 plus, I've watched some of these games, the competition is tough. It's not as dead in the water as some people might think it is, right? The level of play is still high, especially at the quarterback level. So winning a championship and having that final, going from a donut to a 1 is definitely something cool.
Yeah. And I think for Ryan, he deserves to get a championship. He's been in this league since 2008, exactly. Around that area. And, he's been through a lot of adversity himself. Losing one of his closest friends, Adriano Tassoni, unfortunately passed away in March 2009. There's your dog in the background, as I see.
Yeah.
So this would be awesome for him to win this championship, to get that elusive trophy that he's been chasing for well over a decade as a quarterback in this league. So it would be awesome if that does happen from that perspective. All right, on to the 35-plus division here, the Legends division. We have our playoff matchup set. The dates have not been released yet. They will be in due time. So Pacemakers, Everything Hurts, first round. Bearskins, Team Ethics is the other first-round matchup. It's hard for me to fathom the top 2 teams losing and that we don't have a Pacemaker Skins final when the dust settles.
Yeah, I kind of agree there. Although Everything Hurts, they have been on a bit of a hot streak here, even getting a victory over the Greyhawks 32-19 in this past week. What does that put them? I think that's like a 3 or 4 game winning streak now.
Yeah.
Everything Hurts. 1, 2, 3 wins in their last 4 games. They did play the Bearskins. That was Tuesday night at a Bear, and got a 37-19 kind of thumping over the Bearskins. So it might be tough come down the stretch because they did get wins over Greyhawks, Team Ethnic Senior, and Greyhawks again. Also very impressive and unlikely playoff run that they
yeah. We'll talk more about
to get into the playoffs.
Right. We'll talk more about this division because they don't play for 2 weeks. Essentially, April 22nd is their next game, so we have a bit of time to kind of
right
build it up here.
They had a good run to get in. Right, it was because it looked bleak at one point. They didn't have a quarterback necessarily. They had questions at the quarterback position, and his name's escaping me. We'll just look at it quick. Josh Curry kind of came stay here. 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions is not a bad ratio to have. 500 yards, and I believe 3 or 4 games that he threw. When you're throwing 7 TDs to 1 INT, that ratio is going to get you wins. Now, that's the thing. He came against the lower end of the Legends division. It's going to be an interesting question. Can he reproduce that play at a higher level? Didn't happen against Bearskins. Could it happen against Pacemakers? We'll see in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in 2 weeks. On to Div 6 here. We have our 10 games complete now, and the schedule will be released in the coming day or two, I believe, on the weekend, I'm thinking here.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a few. Yeah,
has to be Friday because the first playoff games are Monday.
Yeah, there's a few. Well, there's a few teams that still have to play. They're still at 9 games played. Like show me them TDs, Cavaliers, Rohan, Mead Fiddlers, and the McGill swim team. But Mo, I think we can, like we did in Division 3, I think it's time to unveil the Division 6.
You died out there,
split, unless you had covered that with Brent, and I didn't catch that one.
Well, we didn't unveil the 6-6D split because we mentioned it about the format for Division 6, but we didn't know who would be in what format. So how are we going to go about explaining this format to the Div 6 community? Because they want to know how they're going to be allocated in the playoff run, whether they're in the Div 6 or 6D playoff format.
Right. So the unveiling for Div 6D playoff split. So the way it works, and we've done it this way in the past. We've done other ways as well. We found that this format works well for the Division 6 and 6D split, especially. And the reason why we wait till the very last second to announce it is because we don't want anyone to fail downwards or fail upwards, so to speak. So Division 6 will be your top 6 teams in the division. Mm-hmm. So right now, Skull through Demons, bottom 6 teams that make the playoffs. So you still got to make the top 24 in the entire division. So right now, Queens are the last playoff team to have made it. So they're in. And now the top 6 are in Division 6 and the bottom 6 are in Division 6. So McGill swim team could move up and could move into Division 6D. But right now, sitting at the 19th seed all the way down to 24, those would be the teams that make up Division 6. And then your middle 12 slide out to become your, or am I doing that right?
No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then your middle 6, your middle 12, sorry, from 12 all the way to, what did I say, to 18. That you slide out, and that is your Division 6D division. So, and then from there, it's a simple, we had said certain teams get first-round buys, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I'm going to do a tank job, like rolling through like a barrier wall on this format. I know it's worked in the past.
Let's go.
But in Div 6, and I've score kept a bunch of Div 6 games, there's more parity now in Div 6 that it should have been one massive bracket or massive tournament. I just think that it is so tight that if you are a McGill swim team who right now is in the Div 6 playoffs, not the 6D. I wouldn't put them in the 6D playoffs here. So I just think that if we did as a whole playoff format, we would have great football games, close football games, and a bunch of upsets because there's quality not only at the top but also in the middle pack and even in the final third of teams that can make a run at this point of the season.
So I see your point, but at the same time, in a full, 1v24 matchup, that is the matchup you're getting in Division 6. You are getting 1v24, Pigeons facing off against Towers. You get those same matchups, but the middle divisions, or Division 6D, the middle 12, I'd argue that the middle 12 is going to be a harder division to win than Division 6. There's going to be so much.
But what's the higher
parity
rank
in
though,
those.
Iggy? What's the higher rank? Is it 6D or Div 6 playoffs?
Honestly, it's neither. It's the same. It's the same level of competition.
But the letter of the law, though, Div 6 is the higher because of the fact that you have the higher teams in that division, in that playoff run.
It's so in the past, you're thinking in the past. In the past, yes. But this, honestly, and we did this with Division D in the spring last year. And Division D, when it was split, it was almost very similar to what we're seeing right now in Division 6. And it was a great playoff. And there was arguments of Div D1, was that better than Div D2? And I don't think it was better. It was equally competitive. And there was always would the champion of Division D2 have been competitive, and would they have beaten the winner of Division D1? Yeah. But either way, it was a great play. I was in it in the Division D2 version of it, and it was a great playoff, and I expect the same thing Division 6D.
Yeah, I
know it's not
too.
your favorite.
No, it's not my favorite of the formats because you know what? If you're free agent squad, if you're the speakeasy, fly zone, you're salt and pepper, your cheat squad, you went 7 wins. It's like trying to get into McGill Med, right? Like you have a 95% average, you still can't get into McGill Med.
But now you're the number 1 seed.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you're number 1 seed of not of the best. Like if you're a free agent squad, you could beat one of these teams. If you're speakeasy, who I've score kept now the last few weeks, and they've turned the corner now. Like they've played really well on defense, and Felix Lachal has played really well at quarterback. They're a team that I wouldn't want to face in the playoffs. And unfortunately now they won't get a chance to play Skull Pigeons, Fireblood, Meat Fiddlers, Vet, and Demons because of this format. And again, it's what it is right now. And you know what? If they win championship, great. I'll be happy for them. But I want best on best, man. You're getting what you're getting right now is not a 3-layer cake, but a 2-layer cake that is okay, but could be better with an extra layer of cake to work with.
You know what I'm gonna say? Is it a Black Forest cake, Mo?
You know what? We'll find out on June 8th, you and I, if there will be some Black Forest cake to be had.
Okay. All right. June 8th. I'll mark it. I'm not sure what that date is.
You know what that date is. Okay, I'll see you there.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Is your wife coming to the game? Is your wife coming to the event?
Is my wife? Well, the fact that I don't have a wife, I have a girlfriend.
Oh man, oh my goodness, PC and I are gonna have a field day with her. We're gonna be I
have to remember. We have to coordinate and plan. We had talked about it before. We have to see again. I have a lot of weddings coming up.
I got 4 in the 6-week window this summer. It's crazy, man.
I have 2 weeks or.
That's nothing though, Wiggy.
No,
get out of here.
No. I'm just saying my window. I have 3 total, but 2 in like 3 weeks.
I got 4 in 6 weeks starting June 1st.
It's the same ratio. It's the same goddamn ratio.
It's not. I got 4. I got more money to spend.
2 in 3 weeks. 2 in 3 weeks is the same as 4 and 6. Do your math.
Yeah, but I'm spending more money though. The question is
total. Yes.
Eagle and I have been discussing this. Will I be +1 in it with someone?
Oh.
Find out.
Okay. All right.
You never know. Well, I might ask someone. I might ask even a friend to come. I might even go friend for this.
Yeah, I think you're the +1 is like 60% chances.
I might ask a friend to come with me. That's it. Just have a good community with
It'll be watch. It's a teaser for calling the Audible spring season.
Yeah, Bachelor, Hey, we'll do that here.
The
I'm sorry, you're not
Bachelor
getting the roast. You're not coming to June 8th. You're not coming to June 8th. Okay, but look, for 6 and 6D here, the split will be done, and we'll have it figured out here. We can't talk playoff matches because we don't know who's going to play who yet, right? Because there's still games to be played. Phillies can move up. The Phillies could move up as tie into a 3-way tie. Pigeons have made a run. They're the 2 seed, at least, unless Meat Phillies make the jump up here.
Mm-hmm.
The top 6 are the best of the 6 here. That's great. And I think it is going to be a war of attrition on who can get out of that 6 teams to get into the final 2 of the Div 6 playoffs.
I finally got my first chance to catch Pigeons in action.
Nice
after
uniform.
Yeah, actually, yes. Now you actually have a legitimate case for a nice uniform. It's a nice.
I know.
It might be the nicest uniform color.
Teal. Jacksonville Jaguar
yeah, it's
teal.
Nice.
Yeah.
No. It's not Jackson. It's hard to.
Jacksonville Jaguar teal.
No. It is not.
Iggy,
It is not.
You never questioned a
Absolutely
person
is
who
not.
worked in the uniform industry like I have.
No. I
Iggy,
don't know.
Get the Jaguar
It's not teal.
uniform up. It's the Jaguar uniform.
I can't on the same page because I'm only on one tab. I'm sure.
Okay, so
right now,
get out of
not
this
a page.
tab. Google Jaguar uniform. It's the exact same one, and you're
It's
welcome.
not.
'Cause I know.
It's
Iggy,
not.
I work in the sports industry of retail
It's
uniforms.
not. It is not.
It
I
is.
can guarantee you
It
it's
is.
not.
I will guarantee you that. I will guarantee you that it is the exact same uniform of the Jaguars.
You
The
also
home uniform.
You also guaranteed me that it was McNuggies when it was actually McNuggies. So.
And I've been right. Peasy and I have been right. It's been McNuggies.
No.
But the point is,
you-
it's the
you lost.
exact same uniform. It's
The
the Jacksonville
point
Jaguars
is-
home uniform.
The point is, this is a Division 5 team. They shouldn't be scared to go into at least Division D.
Oh, are you calling them false kings?
No, not at all. That's not what false kings are. This is a Division D team if they decide to join in the spring. When you have competent quarterback play like you do with Anthony Del Pescio, where you can sling the ball like he does, you don't see that too often in Division 6. I think of Skoll as a comparable. No wonder why these 2 teams are the top 2 teams, sitting at 9-1 in Division 6.
Right.
I like the chances that Pigeons make a run all the way to the playoffs. After
Yeah,
what I
they're
saw.
good, man. They're a good team. I've watched them now a few times. They have figured it out.
Yeah.
My only question is closing out games. That's my biggest concern because they jumped out to big leads. And they let teams kind of linger around and not demoralize them early in the second half and let them linger into the second half. You just got to close out games. Put this game over the hills, done and dusted, and get yourself the victory, move on. And that's my only concern for them is can they close out a game if it's close enough or maybe they're down or if they're up by 2, whatever it is. But they are looking prime in those Jaguar uniforms. That is for sure.
No, they absolutely are. And it's both offensively and defensively, right? Some of the plays they're making, I'm like, yeah, this is Division 5. Eventually, they have the potential to go up Division 4 and have a lot of fun there. So, like you said, it clicked for them, and they got it, and I could tell from that last night, Wednesday night at Medivic.
Okay, 5B. We got to roll along here, Eggs. I got to take off like in an hour from now, a little less than an hour from now. Okay, so Win Diesel, they're untouchable in this division. I don't see who they just toy around with teams now. Like it's not even funny anymore. Like I score kept their game. I think it was Monday that they played at Heber.
Yeah,
and I know Betway Bandits were a bit banged up and missed some guys, but even on second gear, they still won 30-0. It wasn't like they were. I'm not saying they were being lazy, but they didn't have to apply themselves too much because this game was never in doubt. I don't know who can keep up with them. The only way this team loses when Diesel is if they have a bad half, and that half results in Will Sabag throwing like 3 pick sixes, and they lose by like 10.
Yeah. And like Betway Bandits would have been one of the teams that I thought that could go score for score with them and rival them and give them a chance. and I saw a donut go up, right? And so that's worrisome. Yes, it's not their full lineup. Maybe they're missing one or two
They're
players.
missing 3 guys that day.
Three, fair. Maybe that makes a difference, but doesn't make it a victory.
No.
Maybe not. Maybe it would have been 33-18, 33-24. You know, you're close, but you're still a possession or two off, right? So, yeah, that's tough. Win Diesel.
And
Isn't it a good thing?
Win Diesel did this without Marcus Lynch on top of that.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it a good thing they're not in Division 6 like they potentially were going to be?
They wouldn't have given up more than 20 points if they were in Div 6. But
the entire season.
Yeah, exactly. But I think now this division has more strength in the middle. Maccabees, they kind of stumbled into the playoffs. They had a good undefeated start to the year. I think they were 5-0-2 at one point.
Yeah.
Toon Squad kind of glitched up late in the season. They have one more game left. They can jump up into the top 4 conversation if they do win their final game. And pretty much the bottom half is more or less set, Iggs, in terms of who we have for playoff teams involved. I don't know if there is a team in the bottom half that can make a run of a Cinderella-like level to kind of get deep in the playoffs in this division.
Yeah, that's tough. I want to say maybe threat level Midnight, just because they have pieces like Julien Proux and JD Jolly. I believe I've seen him on the roster a few games.
Yeah, Jolie's there. Yeah, Jolie's there. Yeah.
Yeah, and playoff eligible. Perhaps I would have said had it not been for that 33-0 drubbing, I would have said Betway Bandits is like watch out for them. I do like what I saw from that. I mentioned it a few weeks back. Packing Packers game versus Les Tondeuses. Those are two similar style teams going at it. I just don't think it's enough. Even Ramfins, when you're comparing them against Win Diesel, it's just they have enough to make it competitive, but not enough to make it a 1 point or to go back and forth with Win Diesel. But Ramfins could maybe go in the finals. It could be Packing Packers. I could see Les Tondeuses even make a run, but to the finals. But that's about it.
All right, on to 5A, Iggs, as we move along here. Same thing. We can't really preview playoff matches because we still have games to be played, and there's quite a bit to look at in terms of the influence of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seeds right now, all having one game left. I mean, if you're Nighthawks, you can even jump up as high as 3. Sleeping All-Stars can jump up as high as 3. Hail Marty's could jump up as high as 4, if not 3, if things fall their way. Thunder Buddies can move up. Rico Riders can move up. Vice City's locked in more or less here. Habibi's Ski are moving up, maybe moving down. We'll find out. So a lot to unpack here, but right now I think this division is a little bit more muddled in terms of the factor of who we think has the edge going into the playoffs. The Petit Carotte lost to Vice City, and that gave Vice City the impetus to move forward here of being a playoff team because they were in the bubble, Iggy, like a month ago, and now here they are 5-5 in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know if there's a favorite here. It's really tough to say. I mean, it's not just because they're 9-1. Les Petits Carottes have a lot of now experience under their belt, and a 9-1 record obviously helps that conclusion. One of the teams that just missed 300 points, Thunder Buddies, is there. But it's a team essentially that can score, 30 points on average a game. The defense, very athletic. I remember throwing against this team last year in Division 5A, and first half, sure, we rolled, but then second half, I believe they only allowed 6 points against us, and it's because they have a good mix of athleticism and combined with their scheming, right? They can man up a lot of teams that they feel that they can just outright beat in sheer athleticism. And when your quarterback can run and throw the ball as effectively as name, he messaged you on Facebook back in the day. Now I'm blanking on Zach. It's not Zachary Cloutier. Jason Reyes.
Oh,
Jason
yes.
Ray's dual threat ability. I think that gives you an edge, but Strapaholics could beat them. Ducks, you were high on Ducks week out of the opening gate of the 5A
5 hours
in the
into the
winter
new season, I
season,
was, yeah.
but I don't know. I just caught them from the side. They're just missing something. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. It's a good team, but something's left to be had. Something's missing for that extra element to get them to, they can maybe make it to the semifinals, but something's missing to push them over to the edge into the finals. I think what's more interesting here is the bottom of the division. Right, you have the Rude Boys. If they take a loss, and a big loss, to the Thunder Buddies, we're talking about letting up 64 points or so, which is tough to do if you're Thunder Buddies. But if they let up more than like 64 points, A Squad could make it, but that's a long shot. That's looking at the
remember,
one.
A-Squad got docked for
Yep.
roster violations. They were 0-5.
Yep. Yep.
But Rude Boys, unfortunately for them, it's the same MO. I know they scored a little bit more points this year, but they struggle to score consistently. Speaking here, and that's what you're gonna get from a team like Rude Boys that will play hard and have a good defense to work with. But it's gonna be on our dude Rafi Bastagian to be that guy. He threw 21 INTs on 187 passing attempts this season, Nicky. That's one INT for almost 9 passing attempts this season. That is a no-no.
That's too high. That's
and he had
absolutely
18 sacks. So 39 plays were self-destructive plays by him, essentially.
Yeah. That sets back your offense. That sets back not just the offense, but like the morale, right? It's fun to score points, and when you're just moving backwards and throwing turnovers, it could be demoralizing, and then it's a team that can get heated, right? They can play up to that emotion and use that energy in a good way, but it can also turn the other way around, right? And so it's not a recipe to get the ball rolling and the energy rolling in the positive direction.
Yeah, Bastagian with his sacks and INTs, 20% of miscues.
Right.
Maybe not all his fault, but 20% of sacks and INTs, negative plays were resulted from Rafi Bastagian, which
and when you're the quarterback, everyone's looking at you. When everyone's coming back at the huddle, they're all facing and walking towards you. So that definitely I'm sure he's felt it in the huddle.
Yeah.
But I want to look at Super Troopers here as we see them on screen. They have one game left against Nighthawks. Absolutely needing the win. Do they get the win to get themselves in the playoffs? You're struggling there.
Yeah, I score kept one game. No, they don't do it. I can't see them coming up with the required tonic to get in the playoffs here, and especially against the Nighthawk team that's played really well. I mean, they've improved from where they were from season 1 to where they are now at 7-2.
Yeah.
I can't see it happening. Fab Robiar's had a good season. Under the radar, this team is Nighthawks, and I'm not saying they're going to go Final Four here, but they're going to be a fascinating, compelling watch, see what they do, but I cannot see Super Troopers sneaking into the playoffs as the last seed left in the playoffs.
Okay. All right.
So that's it. All right, on to the next division that we're covering here, Iggy.
4B.
4B. So, Le Renard Vif are going to be your number 1 seed. I saw them play against Pocket Rocket, potential second-round matchup maybe, or whenever that might pop up at some point, round 2, not round 3. I'm okay.
How did they fare? How did Pocket Rockets fare?
They were competitive, but I just think they had too many holes that Jacob Salave was able to exploit, and they didn't play well. The offense for the Renard Vif. Defense is fantastic, hard nosed. These are all tackle guys who play mostly at Concordia. Joel Terrien, Castonguay. These are guys who have known each other for many years now. But I'm more intrigued now with the matchups that could be, right? I mean, if the playoffs were to be today, I mean, we have top 12 to making it. The top 4 get a bye as a seed. So if you're fourth and Schlong, X-Men, Killer Rays, you're going to have probably buys. You will have buys, but if all the top seeds advance, Iggs, like I can't wait if it's an X-Men Penetrator game, a 3-6 matchup. Like that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Right? A Team Sexy against Killer Rays matchup. That's going to be fun. Fourth and Schlong against Pocket Rockets. That's going to be a lot of fun. So the top seeds advance. It's some good, unique matchups that we'll have in the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, actually, a lot of these matchups are pretty good. Even the first round, right? So you would have as of right now. No, even if Mengus are kind of stuck in the 11th spot right now. Even if they win, they'd have to win and put up like 60 points, 71 points to eclipse Ball Don't Lie here. So these matchups are pretty much set. Would X-Men be able to jump Killer Rays? They'd both be 8-2. I know that
they lost. Rays beat them,
and Killer Rays just beat them.
Yeah, so they can't jump them for.
So this is actually, it's pretty locked in here. So you would have Pocket Rockets against Voodoo. Not bad, but just Voodoo, I don't know what happened this year. It's, you know what? I do know. It's their classic, what Eagle calls their TikTok season. One good season, one bad season. This just happens to be the bad season, I guess.
Yeah.
You have Penetrators, Mengus. I think Penetrators just have more talent and not necessarily more experience, because Mengus definitely have that.
Mm-hmm.
They just pair the athleticism and the talent better with their experience than and better quarterback play. You have Team Sexy against Ball Don't Lie. That's an interesting one. 2 pink teams going at it. That one's very close, and so is Wolfpack Dak to the Future. A lot of this is both of those matchups, it's gonna be defense and quarterback play. That and the battle there between quarterbacks and defensive backs that really dictates who comes away with the victory. Those are fascinating.
Yeah, and Team Sexy is a team I'm going to be circling to watch how they fare in the playoffs here. Ball Don't Lie. I mean, again, that is the matchup. Perhaps if it really plays out to that point, I'm not confident in them at all. But I'm more. I'm not gonna lie. I want the Predators, like the top teams, to get through. We get the top 8, because the top 8, it'll be a war with those top 8 teams if they do advance, right? So I want to see that and have the top 8 be involved, because those 4 matchups are going to be fun to the extreme of what it can be for this divisional playoffs moving forward. So I'm excited for that one, Eggs.
Last question. Yeah. Is the Wolfpack really the favorite over Dak to the Future? I know they are. They're the 8 seed over 9, but minus 77 point differential compared to -1. You have Dak to the Future, who scored more points, albeit only 17.
They lost them. I remember that game. Dak to the Future lost them.
Yeah.
They're going to have to win it with their defense, you know. I think Dak has a better offense. They just kind of didn't have the right tonic to beat them that day that we saw on Feb 5th. I think that was their second game in 2 days that they had played that window. I would make Dak the favorite to win over Wolfpack.
Yeah, a slight favorite. It's a really good game.
Yeah.
2 5-5 teams. I think it's your best game of the first round in Div 4B. But I think Dak is a slight favorite, even though they're the underdog.
So on to the next division here, Iggs, in 4A.
4A.
So LOE, rightfully so, have earned their status. They took out backfield penetration. They took out trap stars, close games in that matchup. Trap star game was fabulous to watch. A score keep
1
on that
point,
Monday
right?
night. Yeah, it came out to the last play. Well, the last 5 plays was Chris Verreau on a run to kill off the game when they were up 1 and they had the possession inside 5 plays. But it wasn't, every haymaker that trap stars threw at LOE, Verreau stood there, took it, and then came back with consistent body blows. I felt like trap stars, they had the emotional edge, right? They were playing off of emotion of trying to come up with a big play. And I felt they tried to go for the kill shot a little too often, whereas Vero was compact, kept it to his game plan, didn't panic, and when they had to make a play that was of great significance for their benefit, they came up literally in the weight of gold, the win that they needed to get the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a potential finals matchup, and
I hope it is.
Yeah.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, man. Selfishly speaking, here, even backfield penetration, it's those 3 teams and everyone else. No one. I know. You do pimps, you whatever, but that Bruce Baller's solid team. But the reality is, the 3 best teams are in the top 3 spots, and if you want the most sexiest matchup in terms of headlines, appeal of talent, and excellent football on both sides, 2 of those 3 teams would make a headline finals because all 3 teams are fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but then I'm looking at like seeds 7 through 14, so or 8 through 14, if you will, the bottom half here. There's some names here that tier 3 winners. West Island boys are there. Not really sure what's happening there with a 5-5 infantry also sitting at 5-5. So Zach Stacy having a so-so season. He hasn't played as many games, and then with such a long season, how we started off the show here, 14 and a half weeks. That you feel like you're almost never playing. So like, was it a ton of rust on his end? Born in the 80s are interesting, but I don't think they have necessarily the mojo to go all the way to the finals. But if you include the 7th seed, Half Senders FC, you have 3 monsters when it comes to Janai Lewis, Ryan McNally, and Sam Mashtub.
Yeah, how do you lose these? How do you lose these guys, man? These guys are just been nonstop text me, bro.
Hey,
we
man.
beat your team 4 or 5.5 point spread.
When you have look, I don't mind taking the shooting myself here and doing dirty to myself.
Iggy.
When you have Iggy Magnets rushing you, there's a problem. There's a problem with the defense.
I thought they were gonna have a parade down like the 15 with the win over you guys. I'm like, really, guys? Like, come on, man. Like, they're decent. Zappatelli, good quarterback, but they're a middle pack team. They're not touching the top 3. Like, backfield penetration would do circles on these guys. Have you seen this roster for backfield penetration? Who they have on this team here?
Yeah,
you talk about their dudes on this team. Joseph Rokandi, phenomenal player on this roster. You look at Ralph Marley, who I now call Max Crosby, fabulous pass rusher on this team. Barazoni's picked up his play, but again, it's on Alex Barazoni to Alessandro Barazoni to be that man for them, and Ronnie Isthmus as well. He's the guy that I was trying to get in my head here. He's a really good player. These guys are explosive. Yards after catch are second nature to them, and their defense is fun. It is good, and if Ralph Morelli, a.k.a. Max Crosby, gets the quarterback, gets him off his access point, it makes it a lot easier for this defense to make plays, and that is a fact for them.
16 sacks. This crept up on me. I didn't. 16 sacks. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised at the number, not necessarily the name attached to the number. It's just 16 sacks. I guess I haven't been.
He's
looking
Max
at the
Crosby,
sacks
man.
lately.
He's a hustler out there, man. He before we get to the next division here, because now we got to make some headway here. But there was a play in the game against Balls Deep that they had. Last play where I think it was Justin Weir. Justin Weir, last play of the first half. Weir got around the double rush, and he's zigzagging through guys. He's about to score, and he was at midfield when he made that run, or like the 18-yard line, whatever it was. He's about to score. Who comes to save the day from a score happening? Max Crosby, Ralph Morelli.
Wow, that's an 18-yard chase and hunt.
The Condor.
What is that, the Buddha Baker there and DK Metcalf.
Yeah, he saved the touchdown and made a big play on that. And now they are your 3 seeds. And again, like I said, it's those 3 teams, everyone else in this division. The Mofos, no. West Island Boys will take them out if they do play. Nomads, whatever. I'm not worried about those guys. They're not. They might be a thorn of annoyance, but that's about it. There's no one out there that can compete with the top 3, Iggy. 2 of those 3 teams are playing the finals. I don't know who they are, but whatever we get from those 3 teams, I can't wait for the finals on that May weekend that we have them.
I'll go LOE, book it in the finals. LOE.
Yeah, I think they have a good chance. I think they really do have a good chance. Yeah, I agree with you on that front. Okay, Eggs, Div 3. What are we doing for Div 3 here? Are we going to unveil the bracket or what's going on here, Eggs?
Yes. Well, we don't have the necessarily the image, but we can.
I can show
we can now
drawing
better.
Here. Can I show my drawing here?
We can now better explain. Yeah, just hold it up there. It's prettier like that. So we can finally explain the Division 3 bracket. So, like any bracket, you have 4 corners to it. That is where your group winners ended up. So you do have Easy W on the top left. Mo, top left. Easy W and your number 1 overall seed. Your number 2 seed is going to go on the other side of the bracket. So number 2, you do have Diamond Bougie, top right corner. The number 3 seed, lower right corner, Bruins won their division with an 8-2 record. And the bottom left group winner was Kiss My In-Laws. So these quadrants, these pods, the 4 corners are the starting points for the division.
Yeah.
And then the questions kept rolling out. Well, who's in my bracket now? If Diamond Bougie was asking, who's in my bracket? Who's in my bracket? So the way it's been going so far is that the next seed, the number 5 seed, with the next best record was the Brotherhood, and the next. Let's just go with the next set of 4 teams. So that was the Brotherhood, Lightweight, Backyard Bullies, and Air Force One. So those teams got placed through a sort of snake format. So the lowest of those 4 was Air Force One. So they went into the Easy W side of the bracket. The next worst was Backyard Bullies of that. So they go into the number 2 side of the bracket with the Diamond Bougie side. They're not facing Diamond Bougie, but they're in that same bracket. And then Lightweight was the next worst. So they go into the Bruins bracket on the bottom right, as Mo is pointing. And the Brotherhood joins the Kiss My In-Laws group on the bottom left bracket. Then you take the next 4 teams, was Mongoose, Sharks, Minions of McDazian, and the Infantry. And you go and work that backwards. So Air Force One, who were placed in the top left with Easy W, they get a face-off against Mongoose. You then have Sharks going up against Sharks against Backyard Bullies.
Yeah.
Backyard Bullies in the Diamond Bougie bracket. You had Minions of McDazian facing off against Lightweight in the Bruins division, the bottom right corner. And in the bottom left corner, you had the Infantry going up against the Brotherhood. So you can see there's that kind of snake format as you go along and take every group of 4 teams. You kind of just put them with the, in kind of a snake format there.
Yeah, and just to let everyone know, right, every bracket is 1 through 8. So it's ECW is the 1 seed versus the 8 seed of their bracket, right? AF1 is the 4 seed against Mongoose, who's the 5 seed. This is Brotherhood, they're the 3 seed, and they're playing Infantry, who's the 6 seed, and then you have Kiss My End Zone as the 2 seed against the 7 seed. That will be determined after the playing games that we'll have. And the same thing applies to the other side of 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 4, 5, 3, 6.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's the MoCon drawing of the bracket. The bracket will be posted on the playoff breakdown tab. So you won't just see Mo's pretty drawing over his pretty face. You'll see the actual bracket in the playoff breakdown tab where you have the explanation for winter 2024.
So the reason why I pushed for bracket, I felt that, and I covered a lot of Div 3 this year, I felt that this year's Div 3 was fantastic out of all the divisions we've had in winter. Parity is second to none. You had one division that could have potentially the championship coming out of it, Diamond Bougie, Backyard Bullies, or Lightweight, all combined, I think, for Hold on, how many wins?
That was a ton.
A lot of wins. 8 plus 15, 22 wins. This is fun for everyone because you're not going to play the same teams, at least for the first round, in theory, right? Depending what the playing games will be like if things play out, right? We were trying to create that March Madness effect of, again, with the snake and allocating teams in pods and all that stuff to create a bracket that's going to be unique, that could work, and we have crazy finishes and bracket busters and all that stuff, and creates that element of surprise. Or we have the top 4 teams just run through and we get the final 4 of our top 4 division winners. But I don't think that's going to be the case, Eggy. I'm not going to forecast who's going to do what yet because we got to get to that point of the final 16. But right now, I mean, again, just talking about the middle part at least, right? Air Force won against Mongoose.
Yeah.
If you're Mongoose, I'm happy I got that matchup because Backyard Boys against Sharks, crazy matchup. Lightweight against McDizian, crazy matchup. Brotherhood against Infantry, that could have been a final right there. And Infantry beat Lightweight this season. Backyard Bullies lost their last game. They could have been in the position of maybe the 3 seed window, right? Being in Brotherhood or in Lightweight's position than being the 4-5 matchup. So I am excited for this, Iggy. I can't wait to get the final 16 in there. A lot of players I've spoken to, they go, yeah, this is going to be cool. This is going to be fun to watch.
Yep.
Because we don't know who we're going to play, and that's the beauty of it now. And I can't wait for this to happen as we get to the playoffs this weekend.
Yeah, definitely some of the quick feedback I've gotten. Just the idea that, and like, I think it checks off so many boxes, right? You want the regular season to matter,
Absolutely.
and where there was a group winner. Okay, now if you were the group winner, you're the number 1 or number 2 seed on your corner of the bracket, right? And then you go snake from there with the next 4 teams and the next 4 teams after that. Does the regular season matter? Yes. Did winning the group matter? Yes. Do you try and eliminate repeat matchups? Yes, it tries to, and I think everyone would want that. You're gonna get teams that haven't faced each other. You might get teams that have faced each other, but only later on in the playoffs. So
in the second or third round of the bracket, and that's fine.
It's
we're
going
not
to happen.
Madness.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Yeah,
it's
we're not
going to happen here.
We're not a 64 team tournament here. Okay,
Right.
It's going to happen, and it's happening in March Madness too, right? We got conference tournament teams playing each other, but I'm really excited for this. I can't wait how this can unfold, and then once we get the playing game winners, so there's 4 games there, 13-20, 14-19, 15-18, 16-17. Once we get those determined, then we will allocate them in the bracket for whoever will face them from the division winners. And who knows, man, maybe the 20th seed can run it.
Right.
And that's the beauty of what this is going to hopefully present for those who are going to be watching Div 3 with close eyes in the next month or so of playoff football that we have at FPF.
Yeah, so final minute here for Div 3.
Yeah.
Of course, we do have those wild card matchups. Do you see any of the so-called, not favorites, but underdogs? Le Gros Coq, Wide Open Bar, Dirty Birds, or Blue Chips beating any of the
Dirty
favorites?
Birds may be the team to watch. A-Team, they're fun. They play some hard-nosed football. They beat Backyard Bullies.
Yes.
And that might have cost the Bullies a higher seed in the playoffs.
Yep.
But I think A-Team goes through. Blue Chips, unpredictable. I think Arush has that chance. Beer Belly Brigade smoked Le Gros Coq, and I think that would be the same thing. I think Friends with Danny should be Wide Open Bar. So I think 3 of the favorites should win. Arush might be the one that might be the most vulnerable.
Yeah, that Arush Blue Chips one is interesting. Blue Chips got better as the season went along. They were already athletic. Now they're pairing that with better play calling, and that's definitely an interesting one.
It's gonna be fun, man. I'm really excited for this, man. And you know what? We're gonna talk off here about it. The bracket in terms of we'll talk about that off here if anything down the road. But anyway, that's it for later discussion.
Div 3 playoffs is gonna be a lot of fun though. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. Yes. Div 2 playoffs here, not yet complete. Stokes could move up. 2HD and #NR could move up. and run it once could move up. And Terror Squad, there's a lot of moving parts here, Iggy. Are we settled yet in terms of playoffs, or are we still in that unknown area right now? Oh, Iggy has gone off air. So Iggy has gone off air, so we'll get him back on in a couple seconds here. So, I'll be honest with you. CFB, untouchable. I can't see them losing in the fashion that they've been playing football this year. Mongoose has been a revelation of dominance of how well they've been. Silent Ticklers got punked by CFB in a good way, not in a bad way. Blue Ballers are going to be a team that can put up a lot of points, but they give up a lot of points. Stoics, underrated. I mean, they beat Jeff Roseblatt's team. Hashtag NR2HD, that's going to be the teams I'm circling right now, because if they get into that 5-6 range, they can definitely make some noise as well moving forward here. And when you look at it now from the perspective that we have for Bless Up and Poseidon's Kiss, they're okay. Terror Squad, from what we've could confirm, I think are on the outs, because there is a three-way tie for that. But right now, I just think that this is going to be a fun division to watch out for in terms of the playoff matchups. With this division and with Silent Ticklers, they had a chance to kind of lay down the gauntlet. If they had beaten CFB, then they wouldn't have won the division, but they would have sent a warning shot to them that they could be in that position. Now, for a team like Ambush, Jeff Roseblatt and I spoke about them. They found their rhythm now, Ambush. But now moving forward towards this playoff round here, playoff Benny McMahon, can he be the big man now and win this football game? Because again, you talk about this receiving core, Rory Submergent, phenomenal. James Drysdale, they got dudes that can catch footballs here. Kevin Donnett as well, Marc-Andre Lapointe as well, Quasi Gordon Mall. That is a legitimate 5-star receiving core to work with. And their defense, Ethan Adrian, no one talks about him. 10 sacks in the regular season. He's a guy that can make some noise. And if he can destruct plays and destroy plays moving forward, no question in my mind that they can make some noise in the playoffs here as well. So it's going to be fun to watch out for and how this plays out. But again, I'm intrigued to see how this plays out for Div 2. Omar, any update from Iggy? Is he kind of in the abyss of his connection line going down? Oh, there he is. He's back. Not yet back on air, but we'll get him back on air. So I'll give him the recap here. That we're wrapping up Div 2 pretty much now. So as Iggy about to join us, rejoin us now into the CTA. Iggy is ready to roll. Iggy is thumbs up. Iggy, you are now back on air. Iggy, welcome back. What happened there?
My phone died.
Shocker. That's what I predicted. So I actually broke it down.
You didn't see the screen. I was watching. I have Ambush. I heard. Come on, I'm still here. I was still here. I didn't die. My phone died, not me. God damn it.
I would have been crying tears. I would have had my.
I heard about Ambush, that they have a 5-man wrecking crew, and that this is a dangerous team.
Five star. I'm intrigued by Ambush here. Stoics can move up. CFB, they're the cream of the crop. No one's touching them right now. I think Div 2 has potential for upsets going towards the playoffs.
So cap-friendly Braves for you are going straight to the final?
I think they are at the final point of booking confirmation for their flight, and all they got to do is press confirm. Credit card passes, and they got their tickets booked.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the only team that stopped them and
no one. Undefeated. Oh, Iggy went out again. Iggy went out again, so we'll get him back on air because we've got to wrap up here because I got to get going to Laval in a couple of minutes from now. But, no, I don't see anyone touching cap-friendly Braves. They can book their tickets to the Div 2 final. I look at Blue Ballers, as I said before, score a lot of points, give up a lot of points, not confident in them. 2HD could make some noise, but again, they've been so disjointed at times with their offense. that they give up a lot of big plays, and they got to cut that down with Joey Taylor quarterback. And finally, for right at once, I mean, this is not the same team that it was before, but they might be, a tough out going towards playoffs. So I wouldn't take them for granted in terms of where they want to be. And keep an eye out for Poseidon's Kiss. I know they're 3-7, but they have really picked it up of late here in terms of their play. They beat Terror Squad by 24, lost by 6 to Dirty Birds Plus, and that was a close one. In fact, I score kept that one on that Friday night. And they smoked NR by double, 26 points. They are 2-1. Could have easily been 3-0 in the final 3 games. They might be the sneaky good team going towards playoffs as well. So watch out for them moving forward. All right, on to Division 1. Iggy, can Iggy hear us, or what's going on here, Omar? But yeah, he can't help me on the show. So, can't help me on the show there, Iggy. Oh, no. We got to push through, man. We got to push through here. See, for those who don't know, I'm talking to Iggy. I'm talking to Omar on my headset right now because we got to plow through here. So I'm going to go to Division 1 now quickly to wrap it up here. If we get Iggy back, we get him back. If not, we'll see him next week, God willing. So we're almost there for playoffs Div 1. Braves have 2 more games left. They win out their next 2 games. They can go as high as 2. Jameson's unfortunately lost a late one and lost their chance at the number 1 seed. I want to see how Maroons react. They have not played well since mid-February, and here we are. They're 3-6. Got 1 more game left. If they do win that matchup, they could jump over Party Crashers and be tied with KGP, who kind of stumbled into the playoffs here. Orient Luminaire is a team that has always come up big, and now here they are in the final part of the season. A win by them, can't go any higher than where they are at 6. So they're going to be locked in probably with the All-Stars, unless Braves do win out the final 2 games. Then it could very well be a Braves Orient Luminaire matchup, and the All-Stars might be blessed, no pun intended, to play blessed in that 4-5 matchup if it ends up being that situation as well. Again, for the playoff breakdown for this division, the 7, 10, 8, 9 seeds will play in the play-in matchup, and then from there they get allocated again by highest to lowest that's left over. But Flagmouth Sac, no one's talking about them. They scored over 400 points this season. Braves could be on the verge of doing so as well. They got 2 more games left to hit the 400-point plateau. But they always put it together at the right time. But now can they finally get that win, that pivotal win to kind of cement themselves in that elite status as being one of the best teams in Div 1? Not in history, but in terms of the Div 1 hierarchy. So I think right now, moving forward and how it is, as Iggy's now joining us back, Iggy, as he now readjusts his camera, as we'll get him on, as we're almost wrapping up here, Omar. I trucked through without Iggy here, and as he tries to work his hair into place here. Iggy, are you back?
Now you got to listen to Omar.
There you go. You're back on, Iggy. We're on.
You got to listen to Omar. I'm not on when I'm not on yet.
I know. Oh, we're on to Div 1 now, by the way.
I was talking to Omar. Omar told you I can hear you, and I'm sharing the screen. Look, Division 1 is being talked about and open as you're talking about.
I know. I'm just letting you know.
I know. Of course I know.
We're on to Div 1.
Mo, the question everyone in Division 1 is asking is
who's calling the Div 1 final?
No, is this the year that All-Stars don't make it to the finals and don't win the championship? I mean, not winning the championship's not unheard of. The Braves beat them last year, but do they not make the finals? Is this the year where something's wrong with the All-Stars, or that we all know 7-3 is not a normal season for them? Are they making the finals?
I'm gonna say no.
Is it a Flagmoal Sac Braves final? That could be a lot of fun.
I've always told Jeff I'll see him in the broadcast booth for the finals. Look, All-Stars will make it tough for whoever they face. But Flagmoal Sac, they are peaking at the right time. I think they're doing wonderful this season. Jameson's as well. I think right now 2 of the 3 finalists will be either Flagmoal Sac, Jameson's, or Braves.
Okay. Yeah, Jameson's included. Yep, absolutely. They had such a stellar season. Yeah, you think 2 out of the 3 finalists make it are from there. Definitely one of them. That's almost a lock for me. That one.
Yeah,
of them,
yeah.
makes it.
I just think right now, I just see on the screen with the standings out there, courtesy of Iggy. I think now that Ryan Luminauer is probably the last hope of the Minnows to kind of make some noise in the playoffs. And they could be locked in with the Braves if the Braves win their final 2 games. And that drops All-Stars to the 4-5 matchup against Bless, which it might be, again, a blessing in disguise, no pun intended, for them to get a team like Bless and say Ryan Luminauer or KGP who match up very well with All-Stars. After that, though, Party Crashers, this unfortunately Fred Dupuis is banged up, so who knows if he's going to be healthy enough to play in the playoffs. He didn't play in the last game for them, and they waved the white flag with essentially 10 minutes, not 10 minutes left, but 8 minutes left in the game, more or less, when they were down and out against Braves. So I think there's more question marks. Maroons have been stubborn since mid-February, which is too bad because they have a good core in place, and they might be the dark horse to watch out for. And ATH squad, they're one and done. Whoever gets them in the draw, they'll play KGP, which should easily beat them. So, no playoff matchup will be easy. I just think that All Stars are going to have a rocky road to get to the finals again.
Yes, yeah. I mean, just look at their last game against KGP, 38-37. Yes, All Stars won, but man, KGP was close and came within a point. It's crazy to think that you might want to play All-Stars in the playoffs over Innocents and Braves.
Yeah.
You might, but that's insane to think about, but it might be true this year, and that's maybe a sign of that the times are changing here.
Yeah, they're sort of like the All-Stars are like the Golden State Warriors right now, the current edition, right? They back nine, who knows how long this core group can go. I mean, Kevin Wyeth has, said, like, I don't know how long I can go. I want to go as long as I can, which he's got carte blanche. But at some time, and knock on wood, Father Time catches up to athletes, whether you're pro or not. Keyshawn Thompson, longer in the tooth. It's an older, grizzled team that would win 35 plus in a heartbeat, but but that's a testament to their will and skill set that they are still an excellent team in Div 1. But in this case now, with the horses still alive in the final turn as moving to the playoff section of games, they are not the horse you're going to put your money on because, again, they've gone through the wear and tear of so much football. You're right, Iggy. They may not get to the Final Four. And if they don't, it'll be the first Final Four that they've not played in God knows how long under the Kevin Wyeth era in Div 1. I don't know when's the last time they haven't made a Final Four. Yeah.
Very, very interesting. And it just puts things in perspective. Just the longevity of dominance. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah.
All right, then, Higgs, I got to get ready here, man. We got to roll out, man. But look, next week we're going to do more playoff breakdowns. It's this unfortunately we're kind of stuck in the rock and a hard place because there's still regular season games, playoff matchups, but no playoff matchups, and we kind of have to go baseline for this week. But when we get back, though, there will be playoff games that will be done, and we'll preview games for next week moving forward. And I think moving forward will be a Thursday show. I'm gonna be missing one Thursday show, perhaps.
Oh, okay. Because we're doing the prep and
mostly Thursday show. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I know there's one, maybe two I might have to miss because of work and NFL draft, but we'll figure it out though. All right, Eggs. Again, reminder: spring registration is open. Go check it out. Playoff schedule will be up in the coming day because there's games as of Sunday and beyond. We'll have that wrapped up, and that's it, pretty much.
And we'll have likely next show. We'll also have the award winners announced. Very likely.
The Sueys will be announced next week. Sure. All right, magic words, please.
Sorry for dropping and dying. My phone died.
Good night. You ready for this one here? Good night. Good night. Good night. You ready for this one here, Iggy? I'm trying to tease it up here, man. I'm trying to work it up here. Iggy, come on. You not ready for it?
I'm waiting.
I need you to hype it up here, Iggy. Come on.
What? The magic words, please. I don't know how this works.
Iggy, I need a little bit more oomph from you with the magic words, please.
Magic words, please.
Iggy, you weren't fun. Purdue. Good night, Purdue.
Good night.
Put the place up, yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo.